code yet. Okay, so hello, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our virtual mentoring session. And I'm Mary Choi Kelly. I'm with the Women's Hospitality Initiative. We, as you know, are focused on advancing and developing women in the hospitality industry. And we're super excited to have you join us this morning. I am just beyond excited to have Sepi here as a guest. And she has an incredible background. She's going to talk to you a little bit about her journey and her career. And as an intro, I'm just going to read a little bit of her bio. I know that it was sent out with all the programming. Sepi is a revolution in motion. I actually love that sentence. A visionary TEDx speaker, event designer, trauma-informed mental health activist, and founder of Dawn of the Earth, a purpose-driven wellness platform weaving together somatic breathwork, plant medicine, and ritual tea alchemy. Born in Iran and rooted in global consciousness, her work seeks to repair our disconnection from mind, body, soul. As a psychedelic integration practitioner and member of the Global Wellness Institute's Breathe initiative, Sepi is redefining how we gather, designing immersive events that awaken, restore, and transform. Her mission is to leave every soul she encounters moved, seen, and forever changed. Wow.
Yes.
Gotta love that mission, right? So Sepi also just received the Hall of Fame Award from Smart Meetings and Smart Women for changing the path of hospitality by incorporating health and wellness into hospitality. So this is just so appropriate. Yes, a round of applause for Sepi for her being here today and talking about this topic. So, that's a lot of wonderful things that I just read off your bio. And, I know you more as a friend, and we work together in the hospitality industry where you started your career at MGM Resorts about 10 years ago. So why don't you just walk us through your journey, your career path, what you've done, and how you got to where you are today?
Thank you, Mary. This is so kind. And I feel so honored to be here amongst all these amazing women. And from day one, you were such an inspiration when I met you. I was just working at Bellagio, and you were the first vice president woman that we had, like that I encountered with in the entire hotel. Because, like at the time, women, they were only getting the VP position if they were working in HR. And how you became an inspiration to me in just creating that possibility I was just mesmerized when you walked in and they said she's the VP of HR, and I'm like, wow, we have a woman that. And we had like this at Bellagio, we had these pictures of every head of each department. They were all men, and the only person like that, the only department that they had a woman leader, it was HR, and Mary was one of them who I was very inspired and learned from. And she was part of like our employee, gatherings and putting courses and, supports for employees. So it was the first time, like I just moved from Iran in 2006 at the time when I started working at Bellagio. I was 4 years into 2010, 2012, something around that time. I started at horticulture, gardening and watering plants and doing all that. But I was going to school at the time, had no idea what horticulture was about. I remember the first.
Thank you so much.
Jamie, do you mind like muting your phone? Thank you. And I remember when they called me and they said you got accepted to work at horticulture. I didn't even know what that word meant. I had to go and find it in dictionary to see like where I was supposed to work.
But what a fantastic department, though. By the way, the horticulture department in Bellagio is like beyond amazing. I asked to go work there for a day. I don't think they wanted me to work there for a day, but I did get to go on a big tour. And if anyone has been in Las Vegas and been through Bellagio's conservatory, there are millions of flowers that are planted and replanted and designed seasonally. And I think 20 million people walk into the conservatory alone on a daily basis. So I just think how fortunate you were, because that's the
Totally.
actual job that I wanted. I said, can I go do that for a little while?
Yeah. It was very fun. And I remember the first 3 weeks in, they were actually doing the change in the conservatory because they were just going through the seasonal changes. And they gave me a bunch of succulents and they asked me to design an anthill. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I'm really good with design. And, I love I have like the creative side. So I designed the anthill and my manager walked in and he said, "Oh, did you design this by yourself?" I said, "Yes." I got my first appreciation letter for my, it's in my file at Bellagio that I designed that anthill. Fast forward, they changed my position. They said, "You're watering the plants in the executive offices." And, like me being Sepi, I was just talking to everybody. Everyone's like, "Who are you? Like, what are you doing?" I was watering their plants and their lilies and talking to them. And I was just talking about my dreams to everybody. I was just like, I was not shy. I was just telling them I just moved from Iran. I left my country. I want to do something big. And I just didn't know what that big thing was. I just knew in my body that I was destined to create something major. I just didn't know what it was.
Well,
And
and Seppi, I just want to pause here because, and Val, thank you for your comment, because exactly like one of the things that we want to do through these mentoring sessions, and Seppi's going to walk us through a great experience. And through your story, I think you're just demonstrating that be bold,
yeah,
share your vision, because people don't know. Like, oftentimes, women in particular wait to be asked and want an invitation or feel like it's not my place, or I just need to see if there's a job that's posted and I fit 100% of the criteria. That doesn't work. So
yeah,
go out there and talk to people, find somebody, ask. 99% of the time, if you ask somebody, do you know someone that can help me with this, you will get a response. So, because you will get a response, what I would say to everybody today that's listening that is maybe looking to do something else or different or a change or anything like that in your career or your life, you have to be super clear about what you want. Meaning, maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but you got to be clear about what you're asking for.
100%. Yes. And being authentic about it. Speak from the heart. I had this innocence in my conversations with them. And that innocence, they were just hearing that desire that was sitting in my heart. And fast forward, the executive director of convention services, Tim Glanzer, Mary knows him. He just one day he called me and he said, "I'm looking for an executive assistant. Do you want to come work in our department?" And I had zero idea what meetings and conferences was about. I just said yes. I was just saying yes to everything. Whatever
Well, and
opportunity.
here's another, I'm just going to interrupt you all the time because
Please
you have
do.
so
Yeah,
many
do
good
it.
nuggets. Here's another thing, right? Lead with yes. I say this over and over to women. We think of all the reasons why we can't. I'm not a fit for the job. I only have 8 out of the 10 requirements. I'm not sure if I can do this. Lead with yes. And if you find something that is an obstacle, then you can say, yes, and I'm going to need XYZ, right? But lead with yes, because that opens up a whole new world of opportunities.
And that yes is just the curiosity. Like stay curious in your path to explore new journeys that you're not used to. But if there is a sense of curiosity, I would guarantee that there's a reason you're curious about that. So worked with Tim. I was then his assistant, got promoted to be a services manager. We produced so many events together. I became the employee of the month at Bellagio. I was the finalist to become an employee of the year at Bellagio. I was on executive programs, all the great, beautiful things that's been happening, but I was dedicated and committed. And then I walked into Tim's office and I said, I don't want to do operation anymore. I think I want to go learn the other side of the business. Again, curiosity. I want to go learn sales. I want to know how we sell these conferences, switch from Bellagio to MGM Grand. And 8 months in, I started from the bottom again. 8 months in, I was hitting my numbers. I was just producing so much. And my VP called me in and he said, we're going to promote you to become a sales manager because I was an executive meeting manager. They said, we're going to promote you to become a sales manager. And in the history of MGM Resorts, they've never had anyone within an 8 months to produce that much, you know, business for the company. And my VP was, this is unheard of. We're going to promote you. I became a sales manager. I've been in that position. I won so many awards from the MGM Resorts. It was an amazing time working for hospitality in Vegas. I learned hospitality in Vegas with these amazing mentors that I've had, but I was just completely done with it. I always knew that I wanted to work for myself. Again, I just didn't know how it looked like. It was the curiosity. I left Las Vegas, moved to Los Angeles, and Tim, who was my former executive director at Bellagio, he opened up Elevated Meeting Solutions as a third party event planning. Great. 2019, moved to LA. I opened up the LA office and we're 1 year in and COVID happened. And there were no conferences and meetings. And I was sitting home and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should have stayed there. Maybe I should have listened to all those people that they were talking about their paychecks and their insurance and then this, that, the safety net, right? Because there was no safety net. I'm in a new city. I don't have a community. I don't have a job. There's no business. And it was scary. It was really, really scary. But Sepi being Sepi, I sat with my heart, authenticity, and I asked myself, if I want to open up a company, what are the three things that matters to me? And I just wrote them down. To be sustainable, eco-conscious, and purpose-driven. So Sepide in English means dawn, and I grew up around herbs and tea my entire life, and I used to make custom made tea blends for all my friends and some of my clients. It was a thing. Everyone knew me for that. So I launched Dawn of the Earth and called my sister. She's an artist in France. She designed my logo, and I started my tea company. And my first phone call was MGM Resorts because I knew all these people at MGM Resorts. I said, "Hey, I'm creating this concept." Again, had no idea where I was heading with it. They placed 1,000 orders in for their top clients. They're like, we want to just serve them. This is a great concept. We want to get behind your work. And the fact that I love that I was supporting global farmers. So for example, my sage comes from Colombia, my lavender comes from south of France, my rose petals come from Sonoma. Everything is ethically sourced with no toxins, no chemicals. So like I was just really getting in this embodiment of like my purpose, like that inner voice that I had. I was just listening to that voice and just following that path. The next curiosity showed up. We're still in COVID, and I'm a meditator. I do yoga. I have a very healthy lifestyle. And every time I was meditating, I had these crazy body shakes that I had no idea what it was. And I started watching these videos, seeing people going through the same thing. And I messaged on Instagram to the founder and I said, I want to do this course and I want to just swap. Like, can I plan your events for you? And then you let me do this course and get certified. He said, yes. 3 months in, I'm in the course and I'm just understanding those body shakes. They were just trapped emotions and they were trauma because I grew up in Iran. I grew up in a war between Iran and Iraq. I grew up under suppression and repression, a male dominated country. And I've never had the opportunity to express. I just held everything in. And it's not only about me being an Iranian that hold everything in. Women in general, they hold everything in. Human in general, we hold everything in. We're not trained to know when we are feeling certain emotions to shake that off and release that from our body. And I was just going through this major clarity because all these trapped emotions, they were leaving my body and I was feeling empty. And I felt like I was having space and I was just thriving and feeling amazing. And I'm like, what is this thing? Just only through somatic breathing, only through like connecting to my breath and my inner medicine. And I was blown away. So I joined the Global Wellness Institute and I became a Breath Initiative member with them. And I started talking to my colleagues in hospitality because everyone were living on burnout and it's COVID. COVID was about to be done. So a lot of people were gone. People were overworked, exhausted, not happy. And I just meditated on that and I said, this is my next. I'm going to bring this work to hospitality. And when I started talking about this, everyone started laughing. They're like, what? Getting people in a room and ask them to breathe together? No, Sepi, that's crazy. Like, we're not doing that. And I'm like, really? So there was a part of me was like, oh my God, they don't see this. Maybe I should hide and I should just hold back and not even talk about it. Just this was something that I did for myself and just move on. But there was a part of me that was telling me, no, that inner voice. She was like, no, Seb, you're not listening to those people. You're going to step in and tell them what this work can do for people, and you're going to stand for humanity. You're going to stand for people. You're going to stand for your friends, colleagues, and all these people that they call you, and they're sharing with you that they're suffering, and that's your responsibility to hear them. And when I say to my listening, I started like all the people that they just showed up in my journey, which was so crazy from all walks of life, they started getting behind my work because I started giving these practices to the leaders, which I knew that if one leader would really understand that how this work can really change people at its core and this leader can make better decision because they're living in clarity and groundedness versus burnout, stress, fight, flight, or freeze, they can just change their entire team. They would bring this work to their team. And we can just gradually, one by one, start feeling much better. So Caesars got behind it. This year, they flew me to 7 different cities. I spoke in front of their top clients, did immersive experiences about nervous system regulation, breathwork, anything that you can imagine that it was like out of the comfort zone. They said, we believe in this. And again, the leaders, I came to Vegas. I just had like a random event in Vegas, which I never do. And 3 leaders that they were part of the Caesars, they came to my event, and when the event was done, they walked up to me and they're like, That's a yes, let's do it. We don't care that how it's going to be received. We want to just support this because we know at some point this is going to be the future.
So
And it,
Sepi, just let me just ask you a quick question here because you
yeah,
mentioned it and you've described it, but tell us for those people that don't know, what exactly is nervous system regulation?
yeah, okay, that's a really great question. Thank you for asking that. So nervous system regulation, the somatic, soma means body. So it's all about your relationship with your nervous system, the way you connect with your nervous system, the way you regulate your nervous system. And the more we live in fight, flight, or freeze, which is survival, a lot of us you're used to live in survival. The nervous system is constantly living in an alerted state, which is not normal and it's not healthy. The more we live in fight, flight, or freeze and being alerted, the cells in the body start changing and shifting. That's how we manifest illnesses and diseases in the body. Anytime you speak to somebody who has a terminal illness, like even if you go to a doctor, they what did they tell you? Relax. Try to just manage your stress. Start learning how to relax yourself. The only way the cells can go back to normal is when the body's in a state of calmness and regulated state of emotions. So for a body that's so used to like survival, fight, flight, or freeze, if I tell you right now, can you relax? You're like, no, I can't, because your bodies just know how to live that way for many, many years. Through breathing, we break the automatic. So anything that body was used to do, we break the automatic and we teach the body how to operate from a place of calmness and regulated state of emotions. So as an event planner, as a former hotelier, I do understand what people go through. And I always tell them when you get that phone call, when you get like that email, what happens internally in your body when you go through fight, flight, or freeze, it's like pouring hot water on your nervous system. That's what happens. We don't see it, we don't feel it. Like it's not like it pours on your skin, but it happens in the body. And then people are wondering why they can't sleep, why their hormones are not regulated, why they have blood pressure, why they have all these problems that they're not. It's just because your nervous system is not being regulated. The good news is, and I always talk about this work, the nervous system regulation, we all have breath equally, regardless of your gender, your color, your bank account, your title, all of that doesn't matter. We all have the breath, and the first breath is the beginning of our life, and the last breath is the ending of our life. And we're still sitting here questioning if this is gonna work. And I always tell them, if you're not breathing, you're dead. So, like, yeah, that's gonna work. So through this breathing, the first half of this, it's an hour. Like I work with my clients between 45 to 1 hour because we have to put the body from sympathetic to parasympathetic. And it goes back to safety. How many of you walk into this world not feeling safe? Just simply not feeling safe about your work environment, with your spouses, with your friends, with your colleagues. Like this safety is the number one way. When the body still starts feeling safe, the body starts communicating with you. When the body does not feel safe, we go to numbing, like overeating, weed, alcohol, this, that, whatever. I'm not shaming anybody. I get it. But I'm just going to tell you there are other ways that you can connect with your body. Like you're not alone in this. Let's just tap into the other ways of like, which is let's tap into our inner medicine. Let's tap into our inner compass that it does exist. And I'm so big, Mary knows that about me, that I'm just so over when people say, grab the other supplement. You're going to making people broken and they feel like that they need to get fixed to grab another supplement. Talk to this coach, go do this, go do that, blah, 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 because you cannot help yourself. And that's not true. You just need to come back to your breath. You just need to learn how to communicate with this amazing medicine that you have within you. And that will guide you through the day. That will guide you through the life. So I have clients that they're going through divorces, and I teach them how to regulate their nervous system when they're sitting at the court or they're speaking to their spouses. Like that's a different level of being, that's an elevated person who says, I'm committed to my well being and the way I communicate with my spouse because I don't want to bring my past to the conversation. It's just an example. So, breath is your inner medicine. And I'm here to teach you how to connect with this inner medicine. And
So
also,
before we get into that, just real quick, and I know you kind of went through it as to, okay, so now we know what nervous system regulation is, and you kind of talked about disease and things that can happen to you if we don't regulate our nervous system. So, can you just say that one more time? Like if, what happens if we don't take care of our nervous system?
yes. 85% of the thoughts that you have today is recycled from the day before. So if you're being mean to yourself, you tell yourself, I'm not enough, I'm not going to make it, I need to take care of everybody, people pleasing, all of that stuff that you're telling yourself, it would create illnesses and diseases. Women, I don't know the exact percentage, I think it's 85% that women that they have autoimmune disease is because women are more prone to people pleasing and ignoring and abandoning themselves. Women are taking care of their kids, they're taking care of their husbands. They're into nurturing, but they as a society, we haven't learned to take care of us. So self-care, this self-care terminology that we hear all the time, what is that? It's not like doing your mani-pedi. It's not any of that. It's about being present to yourself. It's about creating time and space for yourself that you can rest. Sleep is major, that I know a lot of people, they have a difficult time to sleep. So like I make tea for them so they can just calm their nervous system and connect to that. So all these illnesses, and then we have different body parts. For example, our liver, it's a place where we hold all our anger. Like our kidneys, this is where we hold all our fear. So like you start learning that, oh, when that whatever event happened for me, this is where the sadness or the unprocessed grief is just sitting in my chest, that I've never processed that. I just like shoved it down and I dealt with it somehow. I did some crying, but I never felt that grief. This is major. Every single person on this planet, they would experience grief. They would experience losses. And what we are told, there's no community to say, hey, let's come together and hold that safe space and process this sadness. And that sadness can lead to heart disease if it hasn't been processed. There's so much data and information about that, Mary, and everybody. That's why like it's important for us to release whatever we're holding on to. And also through my practices, I will teach you to press some nervous system buttons in the body. So for example, between our collarbone, there's like a little space between our collarbone. And when you pull the skin down, like just a little tiny bit, and start doing mouth breathing like this. And you do a big sigh and drop your shoulders. Deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh. Beautiful, Val. Yes. The more you do that, you can reset the nervous system on your upper chest. We have buttons in the body that you can use. There's one in your stomach, there's one in your belly button. Remove the body in different ways and breathe with that. That's how the body starts opening up and releasing, releasing, releasing. So when I work with my clients, I always give them like these practices, practical, be like empowering you that when Sepi is not there, how do you take care of your anxiety? How do you take care of your panic attack? Instead of crying or taking pills or doing this and that, like empowering you to just tapping into your own inner medicine. And I incorporate that with tapping or EFT, which you can tap on certain meridian points in the body, like for example, under the eyebrow, under the nose, here. Like I teach you where are those places. So it helps with the chi and the flow of the energy in the body. So any area that you feel blocked, it would just help you to just breathe through it and just release that
So,
trap.
Sepi, so maybe this is the right time for you to kind of give us a taste of what you
Yes,
do.
absolutely. So
So,
we're
is
gonna
everyone ready? Sepi's going to walk us through a session.
We're gonna do, it's not gonna be a session. It's gonna be like a 6 minutes guided meditation and breath work. But this is what I'm asking all of you. This is major. It's very simple, but it's major. I'm really asking you to stay with your mouth breathing. Do not fall into shallow breathing. Do not fall into like half breathing. The work, you would feel it if you really do. It's called breath work. You got to do the work with me. So, like this, deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. Deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. That's all I'm asking. Be open, hear the sigh, and you're all muted, so you can do the sigh. The sigh is so important because you're just allowing your should I be burping? If you should, please release it. So that's how sometimes people release anything that's inside. So there's nothing wrong with it. That's what I'm saying. If that's how it's showing up for you, please go with that. Surrender to that experience. I'm just asking you to just be very open with your mouth breathing. And somewhere along the way, I'll ask you to take a deep inhale and hold it on top of your head like this. And you stay with it. You stay with it as long as you can, and then you release and let go like a big sigh. Do I have your commitment? Give me your thumbs ups. Yes? Okay, amazing. And do you have any questions? No? Okay. Eyes closed. Just get really comfortable in your body. You don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to do anything. Everything is at deep peace. Feelings are not us. They are not who we are. They are trapped memories of hurt. They are trapped identities of old stories, habitual ways of thinking. We are the ocean. We're alive. Take a deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. Beautiful. Take another deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. Take another deep inhale from your mouth. Remember, stay with your mouth breathing. Big sigh, drop your shoulders, let it go. I want you to imagine turning into this great wide ocean. There is ruby color. There is fish all around. Everything is at deep peace. Deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. Yes. I want you to put down all that overthinking. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I can't. I'm not gonna make it. Deep inhale from your mouth. Hold on top. Hold. 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 Big sigh, release and let go. Yes, Val. Beautiful Chandra. Amazing Julie. Deep inhale from your mouth. Hold on top. I want you to let go of all those overthinking. When you're being mean to yourself, being unkind, put it down. It doesn't serve you. Just release it from your body. Big sigh, release and let go. Because you deserve better. You deserve way better. You deserve kindness. You deserve safety. You deserve love. Now I want you to imagine there is a bubble rising from this shifting sound. And as the bubble rises, I want you to name a feeling, a thought, or an old memory that is no longer serving you. And you're ready to let it go. I want you to imagine an old memory, a thought, or an emotion that is no longer serving you, and you're ready to let it go. Keep watching that bubble rising. Deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. Stay with your mouth breathing, remember? Stay with your mouth breathing. Deep inhale from your mouth. Let that bubble rise. Watch it pop and enters back to the air. This is not you. These are bypassing winds. You're safe. Put your hands on your heart. Hands on your heart. Deep inhale from your mouth. Send it to your heart. Big sigh, release and let go. And tell yourself, you don't have to hold it all together all the time. You don't have to hold it all together all the time. It's okay to let it go. It's a permission to your body. Deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. Take another deep inhale from your mouth. Big sigh, release and let go. You don't have to hold it all together all the time. Now listen to your heart and ask your heart, what message does your heart have for you? Send the breath to your heart and be present. What message does your heart have for you? And thank yourself. The most important person in your life is you. Thank yourself for showing up, for never giving up, for just always being there. Deep inhale from your mouth, send it to your heart, and tell yourself, I got you. I got your back. We got this. Deep inhale from your mouth, send it to your heart. And now we're moving to gratitude. What are you grateful for? See it clearly. Are you grateful for your family, for your friends, for your pets, for your neighbor, for anyone around you, for yourself? Stay with your heart.
Stay with your gratitude because you're so powerful. You just need to remember who you are. You just need to remember who you are. Everything is within you. Deep inhale from your mouth, hold on top, hold, hold, hold. Big sigh, release and let go. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. You can always reach out to your community. Learn to ask for your help. Learn to ask for support. This life is meant to live with others, with love and presence. So thank yourself for being that for everyone around you. Deep inhale to your heart. Stay with your heart. Big sigh. Release and let go. And now, gently come back to your body. Move your fingers. Move your toes. And open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome home.
Oh my gosh, Sepi, thank you so much. Can we just stay there?
Yes, please do stay. Take it slow. Take it slow. Take it slow. Thank you for receiving this. I hope it really inspired your heart to be present to yourself, to remember how powerful you are, that you're not alone, that we're better together. So let's be kind to each other. When see each other, let's smile. Let's be present. Let's be authentic because we're always better together. And thank you for allowing me to serve you. Thank you, Mary. I'll give it back to you.
Wow. So we have time for questions, and I'm just going to go through some of the questions in the chat. And before that, I will just open it up to anybody. If anyone just even has a reaction or just something after something like that, I just feel compelled to say something. But if anyone else wants to say anything, kind of open it up. Yes, Val.
That was just an amazing experience. Thank you. I mean, literally just your tone, your conversation, your passion, everything that you're living is just, it's put me in such an emotional state of just calmness. And then just when you started talking about breathing, and there was such a difference in breath and breathing. I think breathing is that fight, flight, or freeze, whereas breath is so intentional. And just from the moment I got on this call, I started just because of your conversation being more intentional about my breath. And I guess maybe that's why I was doing all the burping, but I felt at peace. And I can't even remember the last time I breathed.
Yeah,
I mean, thank you. I
I thank
really
you.
remember the last time I sat, I planted my feet, and I took breath. Thank you. You've
Wow.
given me something today that I forgot I had.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
thank you.
I
Thank you for
pray you
receiving
never
that.
know that your feet take you far and that your business reaches the ends of the earth. Thank you. Thank you. Your story is so inspiring to come from a space and place of such a male dominated world where really they oppress women. You showed us today that when you're living your compassion and your life and your passion, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Thank you. I receive everything you put into us today, and I pray that it comes back to you 100-fold.
And to you, Val. Thank you for being so vulnerable and authentic and being open
Thank you,
to
Mary.
receiving everything.
Thank you, Mary.
Val,
Yes, ma'am.
you. Thank you for being open. Openness is so important. Thank you for not resisting yourself, not resisting your breath, and not resisting this session because so many people choose to do that. And your words really touched my heart. And I'm very grateful for you for speaking and sharing that because every time we share, every time I share, every time you share, every time Mary shares, we're moving somebody, we're inspiring someone else. And that's our responsibility to keep sharing our stories. I want you to share this story with 3 people today and tell them that being in 5 minutes, this was like a 3 minutes, this was like 3 minutes of breathing, how it moved you in your body because you have it within you. You don't need anything else outside of you. You have it all. We just forgotten that. My work is to bring you back home to yourself. And thank you for receiving that and sharing this very beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you. You have set her on fire today, and I'm gonna go out and spread it, okay?
You're so
Love
sweet.
that.
Thank you, love.
There was another question, Sepi, about networking. Can you talk a little more about how you went about and how you currently go about networking?
Yeah. So I have this rule, it's called bold request. And bold request is like every week I have 3 names on my board that I write to them. And I ask for something that I think it resonates with my heart and I write it from the heart. So I'll give you an example. I submitted my talk for South by Southwest. I don't know if you're familiar with that platform. It's a forward thinking platform that they bring music, medicine, art, film, anything that you can imagine. It comes for the future, it comes on this platform and they're very open minded. So I submitted this talk, it's called Beyond the Trip, about integration with plant medicine and somatic breathwork. And last year I got into the first round, didn't make it to the final. And this year I told myself, I'm like, Sep, you're gonna speak on this platform, but you need to take some actions. What did I do? I wrote a name of the person who I knew from the Austin convention space. I made a phone call and she was like, Sep, we don't manage anything with South by Southwest. They're very private. But I said, I spoke from the heart. I said, I want to bring this work. This is my commitment to humanity. I want to transform people at their core. And this platform can give me like that space for me to show them what's possible. She's like, she listened to my heart. She's like, I'll figure it out for you. I'll figure out a contact for you. I'm like, okay. 2 hours in, the contact, cell number, email address is in my inbox just because I asked a simple question from somebody else. That night I went home, I wrote this email to her and I was very honest and authentic. I said, I've never met you. You've never met me. I went through hoops to figure out who you are. And this is what I'm doing. Like, this is my work. 2 days after, my email was forwarded to somebody else that who was the director of programmings and events with South by Southwest. And he sent me a link and he said, you need to apply here, which I already applied. But again, I didn't give up. I said, is that possible to set up a call? I really want you to hear my voice. I really want you to hear my story. There's something behind this. And like thinking this guy would say no. Like, you know what I mean? Like these conferences, they're major. It's like asking the head of IBM to just to get on a Zoom call with you. The guy's like, who are you? Like, who is this chick who's pushing all the time? So he got on a call with me. I told him my story and he was mesmerized. The whole time this guy is looking at me and he's like, where were you? Why didn't we hear about you? This work is so powerful. And he started plugging me with a bunch of contacts in Austin that I can co-create with them in 2026. So the biggest thing I've learned with networking, you don't have to be in like C-suite executive rooms to make contacts. You can create your own list of people that you want to speak to and start writing. I always say be authentic and write from your heart. I wrote to Mel Robbins and told her I need to be on her podcast. I wrote to so many people that I love and I'm like, I'm just going to ask that question. Some would say yes, some would say no. And the most important thing that I've learned in my path that the no's are not a rejection on me. It's never a rejection that Sepi, you're not good enough. Because people they hear no and they're like, oh my God, I'm not good enough, but they're not seeing my work, so maybe there's something wrong with me. The no to me, it means redirection. It's literally means two things, redirection and divine timing. There are times that people say no, and like a year after I see them and I'm like, hey, do you remember we had that conversation? They're like, yeah, we're ready. Can we chat now? So just putting yourself out there and making bold, I call them like, I have like a section on my board. It's called bold request. Every week, write 3 names that you really want to spoke to these people, even if you want to hear their story. Just reach out to Mary and ask about her journey, that how she became who she is today. She just actually started this amazing podcast. How cool is that? She was telling me about her podcast. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But like, what inspired Mary to create that podcast? Just start listening to her podcast. And she's going to bring so many guests. So through those guests, maybe that can be part of your networking. And you can reach out to Mary and say, hey, X guest really resonated with me. How can we just, can we bring her as one of the guests like they brought me to our calls? Like, get creative, start getting creative, start asking the question, and don't give up. When they say no to you, if Mary says no, ask her a different way. And I always tell people, I'm like water. Like I flow with people. There's a rock in the middle, but I'm go around the rock and I just find my path. Just be like water. Who's, I think somebody else says that. I think it's Bruce Lee or some other like big names they do that. But like I really see myself as like water. I just flow and I don't take no as an answer. And if it's a solid no in my heart, I'm like, okay, divine protection. I'm not supposed to be here. This is not mine. Because if something is yours, it's just not going to miss you. But you got to be in action. Meeting people and connecting with people is not happening on your couch when you're scrolling on Instagram. It doesn't happen that way. It requires discipline, commitment. And I always tell people, are you interested or are you committed? Because it's two different things. If you're interested, you're just putting one foot in, one foot out. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you get a yes. But if you're committed, it's a different ballgame. It's a different energy. It's like it's happening. You know it's happening in your body. A long short answer.
I love it. I love it. And if anyone reaches out to me, I would never say no.
Exactly.
And it's not just me. I think that was the point earlier, that most of the time people will respond. And I love what you said about no is not a rejection, it's a redirection.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. So thank you. And thank you for sharing my podcast. It's about young adults, and it's really born, my first episode is kind of my story. So it's really born from love for my sons and for young adults. So I hope you do tune in. Other questions?
You should put the link in the chat, Mary, so everyone can.
Yeah, Val did. She's
okay, awesome.
She's on it. I love it. Anybody else have questions? Take advantage of this wealth of knowledge and wisdom that we have with us this morning, Sepi.
Oh, Val she's your assistant?
No, she's not. She's joking.
I'm joking.
Because she's putting
joking.
stuff.
Oh, I thought in reality,
If no one else has a question,
No,
I'm clearly not the quiet, shy one, but I don't want to monopolize our time, and I want to give the ambiverts or the introverts an opportunity. Sometimes you just have to be silent and let other people talk. But if no one else does have a question, I mean, I'm so stoked about what you just said, like the networking piece of it. That was my question in the chat, and I'd like you to expand on that a little bit if you don't mind. I love the bold request, 3 names, write them down. So my ask is, was that kind of like the momentum that you put into being like so successful on the sales end of it?
Yes.
Like, what was your secret sauce there? I'm a sales professional, and so I'm looking for insight from that angle.
Yeah. So I really see sales. I don't see sales as like salesy car salesman or anything to that nature. Even from the convention space, I've never fit into those boxes. I'm a very relationship authentic person. People want to do business with me because they know I have their back. People want to do business with me and work with me because they know that I live in my heart and I want them to win. So like I always have this mindset of like win-win situation, because when you're standing for people and tell them, I want you to win as much as I want myself to win, people really like, they never hear that, because everybody thinks that they're living in these silo islands and they're trying to like make it through life. And the minute you tell them, I want you to win, And this is why I'm standing for you again, authentically, not like faking things and saying things just to please people. That for people to make them think that, oh wow, this is amazing, this is an amazing opportunity. So like I'm doing this brand partnership with this company. We're just in a process of like, talking about how it's going to look like. And when he came up with all these numbers and black and white and this, that, whatever. And guess what? I told him, I'm like, I don't care about any of these things. This is not my style. And this, if this is how you're leading your business, I'm not the right candidate for you. I'm a very heart driven, present person. And he was like, what is she talking about? Like, this chick is crazy. And I told him, I'm like, I have an abundance mindset. This is another thing when it comes to sales. I have a very super abundance mindset. I never say I don't have money. Like those stories of I don't have money, the lack approach. Even when I want to pay people, I always find my friends that I know they're an expert in certain things and I pay my friends. I always tell them, I'm like, I want you to win. I want to support your business instead of like finding someone that I don't know. If I know one of my friends are doing website, I don't ask for family discounts from my friend. I tell her that I want to actually pay you double because I want to support you. I want you to win. It's a total different energy. Every time you say, I don't have the money, I don't have the budget, you're literally activating so much lack in your psyche that you think you wouldn't be able to achieve that. And this is a trick with sales, really. Every time I wake up, I know that I'm abundant with numbers, with sales, with clients. And guess what? It's so true because people constantly send me people. They're like, Sepi, somebody saw you speaking at X place. Here, they want to speak here at whatever. We had a conversation like a week ago, and she was like, we might do whatever event, and we would like for you to speak. There's so many of Marys in my life that they do the same thing. It's just because of that authenticity. And I share my heart with them. So whatever that you're selling, number one, you really need to feel it in your body and embody the product. If it's a product, if it's a space. When I was selling MGM, one of the things that I really loved was they have vitamin C shower in the rooms. Like, they had like this stay well floor that it was about health and wellness. I felt connected with health and wellness. That was something that I really spoke to from the heart. And people love that. I was talking about the circadian lighting. I was talking about the mattresses, like the things that was authentic to Sepi, right? Not necessarily the things that wasn't authentic to me. I was talking about it, but it was people could feel the energy. It's all energy. We're all energy. What you're feeling right now is my energy. That's what you're feeling because I'm not showing up depressed and sad and victim and all that stuff. Like I'm
Yeah,
showing up as my
and
best
Seppi,
self.
just to kind of reinforce what you said about the mindset, it is we need to move away from the scarcity mindset. And women do this all the time.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we've spent 50 years trying to focus on advancing women, and one of the reasons why we haven't made as much progress as we could or can, is because we possess a scarcity mindset. And how that plays out in the corporate world or world of business is, I don't want to help you because if I help you, that's one less opportunity for me. That's scarcity, right? Because we're competing. If there's one job and I help you, then you could get that job and I won't get that job. The shift to a mindset of abundance is if I help you, then you and me, now we're two, right? And we can help other people. And the more we help and uplift, the more of us, then the more opportunities we develop, not only for us, for others. So this shift to abundance, which Seppi, you talked about right there, is huge. And it is a small shift. But in our mindset, in our life, how we shift from scarcity to abundance.
I want you to notice when you wake up in the morning, what are the lack mindset that you have, like about your health, for example. It's not only about money, it's about your health. I don't have friends, I don't have community, I'm not healthy, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like it's just a big list that we feed ourselves every single day. And I always use this terminology. I'm like, culturally, we're so hypnotized. Like we're so hypnotized to think this way. And every time you want to have a breakthrough, they show you something that you're like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. But again, you can always come back to your breath. You can you can breathe through it and tell yourself this is not true. And if this is true, people come to me and they're like, oh, 80% of the women, they give me numbers, like they're not going to succeed or this is going to happen to them and da 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 da. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be part of that 20%. You're right. I'm not going to be part of that 80% because I don't even think like that. And I tell them, I'm like, great, I get it, but that's not going to be me. And the minute I tell them that's not going to be me, it's like they look at me like I have two whatever things on my head and they're like, what is she talking about? I'm like, that's not going to happen to me. I know that. And guess what? It doesn't happen to me because I claim that. I tell myself that's not going to happen to you. You're not going to fail. There's no failure in your story. You're going to just learn and grow and expand. And anytime you have to redirect, that is part of your journey. I don't accept it, even from my doctors. I was misdiagnosed by cancer 2 years ago, and 6 months they put me through hell, whatever, whatever. And one day I walked up to my doctor's office, gave him all the meds, and I said, I'm not sick. And he looked at me and he's like, you can't stop this. And I said, I'm not sick. I know I'm not sick. I am not sick. I'm not taking any of these meds. I'm not continuing doing this. And he was freaking out. He was like, you can't, we've gone through this for 6 months. I said, I gave you the shot, but my body's telling me I'm not sick and I'm not doing this anymore. And he gave me all his data and I did not accept it. And guess what? I'm sitting here with no illness because I simply told myself, you're not sick. You go eat better, go rest more, go like change your lifestyle, regulate your nervous system, talk and walk the talk and do all these things, and you'll see the difference. It's a different level of frequency and vibration when you're living there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I know we're getting close to time here, and I just, no, I appreciate every minute, every ounce of energy that you're putting out there for all of us. And just to close, is another way to move from this feeling of lack is to move into gratitude.
Yes.
So in closing, Sepi, we are so grateful that you are here with us today, for sharing all your wisdom and your passion, your energy, and just the connection. So I know that you also have a gift to everybody that was on the call today, if you want to talk about that.
Yes. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm all about giving back and supporting communities. That's just my heart work. That's how I show up for all of you. I show up for humanity. And I wanted to give you a 30 minutes of my somatic sessions on me as a gift. So please send me an email. I'll connect you with my assistant and she'll get you on my calendar. Just so you know, I'm just right after this call, I'm going to France until September 26th. But by the time I come back, I promise whoever reaches out to me, I will get you on my calendar, and I would be more than happy to get you like in a deeper experience with yourself and with your breath. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining. I hope everybody takes advantage of this wonderful gift, Sepi, that you've offered, and for just sharing a little more about you today.
Thank you, love.
Have a great rest of your week.
Have the best day of your life, everybody.
That's right.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Thank you.